Welcome to the CEO Shift with your host, Shondell Spader, owner and CEO of Spader Group. In this series, you'll hear fast, focused conversations with business leaders and experts who've made the real shifts needed to scale past the plateau. Each episode delivers CEO level insight in 15 minutes or less, because real growth doesn't need more noise, just better decisions.
Hello and welcome to the CEO Shift. I am incredibly excited to be introducing my friend Jamie Shibley today. We're going to dive in and learn a bit about her and her strategic gifting business and all she has to offer. So, Jamie is the CEO of the Expressory, and she is also a best-selling author, which is super cool. So her book is called Relationship First Strategic Engagement. And she helps professional service providers grow their businesses by turning thoughtful gestures into powerful relationship strategies. With a background in IT and a passion for human connection, she brings a fresh approach to business development rooted in empathy, social psychology, and a whole lot of intention. Her mission is simple: help businesses show they care, because that's what builds loyalty that lasts. So, Jamie, welcome and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. That makes me sound really smart and professional.
Because you
I love
are
it.
really smart and professional.
Yes.
So, I am so excited to pick your brain today and be able to share with everybody. I'm just going to dive right into
Yeah.
questions. So one of the things that I absolutely love sharing is, what's your zone of genius, like the area of your expertise? Like, what would you like to focus on, I guess, for this conversation today?
Yeah. Nurturing relationships. It's been, I don't know, I guess it started as a fascination of mine for most of my working life. Understanding people and developing strong, lasting relationships has just been always something I do. It seems to come naturally. And so,
That's awesome.
helping other business leaders do that is my passion.
So, being passionate about this, like, how do you share this with other CEOs, with business owners? Like, how is this knowledge that you get to share impacting and helping agencies, business owners, CEOs that you get to work with?
Yeah, I mean, really, right, any professional service provider. I think it's more important now than ever. And I mean, if you just think about the state of our world right now, I mean, how much we've spent so much time in uncertainty in the last 5 years, not to mention the pace of technological advancement seems to be increasing. And so there's this move toward virtual, and it's really having an impact on our overall mental well-being. People, and you can look this up, the Surgeon General released a report a couple years ago. I mean, it's all over the place that we are feeling more disconnected than ever as a society. And so paying attention to the relationships you're building in your business is going to be very important, because that's what makes or breaks us anymore.
Right. Well, and this leads right into what we need, like what we need to be focused on as owners to make sure that we are growing our business very strategically and in a way that helps us show up in a light that, like, we want to be known for, right? Like, we want to be known for our smarts and our, like, what we offer, but I think that genuine kindness behind it as well. Like, I think this is an awesome avenue to be able to truly shed that, or share, maybe not shed, but like share that genuine kindness across the board, and just make it known that a transaction is not a transaction. Like, there is money back and forth, of course, there is a purchase, there is a business relationship, but beyond that, the importance of why we need this genuine kindness to help us, grow our business and nurture leads and do things like that. So, what is one shift that you believe CEOs need to do to make to grow, to
Mm.
make their business better, to show up in this way?
Well, I think now is certainly a time where you don't want to pull back on any of this. What I've always found is that this is one of those things that the work we do is one of those things that'll be the first thing to go. And I was guilty of it myself when I first started, because when you're running a business, there's so many hats that you wear that doing the quote nice things for people and showing that you care can quickly take a back seat, because you've got to take the sales call, you've got to do the things. And it feels like a nice to have. And I think that's where we're starting to fall. It's not a nice to have anymore. I mean, you use the word kind, and I think there's a bigger picture here, is that it's care, and there is a core human need. Social psychology tells us people need to know you care in order to be in a relationship with you. So people will have that transaction with you, but they stay with you based on how you make them feel. And when I first started the business, and I was trying to understand why are people investing in this with us? What is it that drives this? And over, I kept hearing people say, well, because I want them to know I care, because I want them to know I care. And I couldn't understand. I'm like, why? But in doing the research and understanding the science behind it, it's a need.
Well, and I think it fuels and confirms too, like people, I mean, there's sayings out there all over, right? Like people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And this is a great way. I mean, yes, it's showering people, but even for somebody, so I don't, for those that are familiar with like the five love languages, gifts is not mine. Like it's not mine. You want to come vacuum my house? You want to come clean my kitchen? I'm going to fall in love immediately, right? But gifting is not mine, but I still, even with my mindset, I still see the value in this. And I still know that if I receive a gift, it's not that it's not appreciated, but it makes me feel good because they thought of me and they realized that there was something worth celebrating or just showing that genuine care. And it's always heartfelt, I feel. So,
Well, I
um,
think you
go
just
ahead.
said it though. Like, I think that's where the five love languages may fall apart. And I feel like I need to do a blog on this or something. But if you look at the definition of gifting, it just means to give something. And we take that a step further in our world, and
Yeah.
we say to give something without expectation of return. And naturally, our brains, when they hear gift, we think of a wrapped present, right? But
Yeah.
gifting means giving. And you just said you would value someone coming and cleaning your house. That's still a
Gifting.
gift, right?
Yeah.
Somebody gave you something that they understood you would value. Like, that's it. That's a gift. And it showed they cared about you.
Yes. Anybody wants to knock on my door, I'm happy to receive you.
Or mine. I mean, I would take that too.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. So is there a specific story, a mindset shift, a strategy that you'd like to highlight today?
Boy, I think we've learned something. We recently did some market research, and we learned that only 34% of business owners have a documented strategy for nurturing or for this strategic engagement type work, right? Only 34% of businesses actually have a strategy for focusing on nurturing relationships in some way.
So this, I mean, this is huge, right? Because it's such a small percentage and you make it so simple to fill this gap, to make this something where really, if only 34% of businesses are doing this, everybody can stand out, right? And until this percentage grows, right? Until it's 80%, 90%, like people doing this, agencies, businesses doing this will absolutely stand out.
And I want to go back to what we were just discussing about gifting people. It doesn't need to be a huge investment. Gifting is giving something that the other person will value. And that means your assets, how you can help them, any resources and things you've already developed, as long as you know that would make an impact for someone and make a difference, that's nurturing. It depends on your words, right? Tell them
Well, and
why.
I love what you said too. Like, it's all about giving with no expected return. Like
Yeah,
that's, and like so I like that you brought it to assets and things that you've created yourself, right? While I think of gifting, like I generally don't gift with our logo on it, or because I feel like
right.
that's still about us. But what
Sure.
you, I think, just said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you just said is like frameworks, our like our profit power hours, right? Like we've got a lot of materials that go with that, a lot of handouts, a lot of tools. Like even that could be considered gifting in a sense of like I'm giving this to you because I feel like it'll be impactful for you. I feel like it'll help you. I don't need anything in return.
No,
Just
exactly.
benefit from it.
But see, this is
That's
where
cool.
you got to do your research. You've got to understand if you knew that that company was working towards something that your framework could solve, if you sent them that with a message that said, I know this is a goal of yours, and I know you've been working hard on this, take a look at this resource. I think it might help you. Feel free to give me a call. End of story. You're not selling,
Yep.
you're not pushing
No,
anything
right.
on them. You were being helpful. That's a gift.
That's
And that goes a
awesome.
long way. If I
Yeah.
can, I know I can
We're
talk
good.
forever
Go
about this,
ahead.
but there was a study of physicians and complex diagnoses. And what
Okay.
they found is that if a physician gave a diagnosis, cut and dry, if the recipient of the diagnosis thanked that physician, it was some sort of percentage, now I'm forgetting the percentage, but it was a large percentage of the time, those physicians would then go the extra mile to dig further for them. I want you to think about that. Like
Yep.
just showing kindness and thanking someone, it makes the giver go even further for you. Right. So be
It's funny you
generous.
use that as an example because we firsthand got to witness that over the last couple months with my father-in-law's health challenges.
Yeah.
Um, one of the doctors, like the hospitalist, right? So a doctor who is at the hospital when you're admitted, they are not your team. They're your team for your admission, but they are not your team outside of that. And she was she was a game changer. One of the things that had popped up and that we had shared with her was a little placard that says human sunshine. And that human sunshine says things like, like you show up every day, you bring light into the room, you do it without second guessing, you do it with, like you just do it because it's so natural, whatever. And she was absolutely human sunshine in a time that was scary and hard and new for all of us. So um she really did. She went the extra mile. She came in with hard news. It was her day off. It was her day off. She came in to be able to have that conversation with us and discharge us. So, like,
I
yeah,
love that.
interesting that you share like that specific scenario today.
Because we talked about that. Like, how do
Yeah.
you, right? And I will match that. Like, that about 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and the doctor and the nurse had offered to come hold my hand through the
Mm,
procedure to check for more. And after everything was done, I gave them both a gift. And
yeah.
a lot of my family members see this same doctor. And the joke was, it would take them months to get an appointment, but Jamie could call and get in anytime. And it was so true.
Yep. Yep.
They they loved me. But again, like
Yeah.
it was authentic. Like they made a difference. And so I
Yes.
guess we kind of veered off from business, but I want you to know, like, this matters with your vendor partners. Like the same thing will happen
Yeah.
with vendors. They will go out of their way for you. Um, so think of gifting in bigger terms. Um,
Well, it's every relationship, right?
mhm.
It's no matter what. It can be if you're in an office setting and it's the folks who come in and they clean and do the janitorial services, it's the CEO, it's the decision maker, it's the anybody in between, right? There's no person, position, or relationship that is too small to make an impact.
Thank you. It's
Yeah,
so
this is
true.
awesome. Speaking of making an impact, I would
Mhm.
love, since you're a best-selling author now, I would love for you to share a little bit about your book, and then we do have a link for
Yeah,
you to be able to scoop this book up yourself as well. So you go
yeah.
ahead and share about it, and I'm going to pop the link into the chat
I'm supposed to hold this up all the time now.
with your beautiful
This
hands.
is my, yes, exactly. So yes, this relationship first strategic engagement, it says that it's an agency owner's guide, but I promise you any business professional service provider can implement the same strategies. And in the book, we talk about how to create that strategy and plan for nurturing relationships with any type of category of relationships. So your clients, your partners, your prospects, even. And I would love for you all to pick that book up. We are giving it away. There is truly no cost, because I really believe that the more people who can take the time to implement these things, you're making a difference in a person's well-being as well. Um, because
That's so
we
awesome.
all need to be seen and heard these days.
Yes. Well, I am lucky enough to have read the book already, and I absolutely love it. And your approach is spot on. Obviously, we've known each other for a while. I have been informed and aware of the process since before the book was released, and it's huge. Like it's such a game changer in building relationships. So I do
Thank
encourage you guys to
you.
get it. You can find it at theexpressory.com/agency book, or you can find it in the chat here as well. We did go ahead and put the link in there. Jamie, thank you. I
Thank
appreciate you for kicking
you.
us off with the CEO shift, and I look forward to all that is to come.
Yay, thank you. Me too.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the CEO Shift. Ready to take your next step as a strategic CEO? Download our free 4-step CEO decision guide, the exact framework business leaders use to stop spinning their wheels and start scaling with clarity. Grab your copy at spadergroup.com/CEO-guide and start making decisions like a CEO today.